Morning, good morning. Quite the candle to the upside.
Nvidia shares rise 2.2%.
What's the Nvidia news? Oh, okay, I see it. Really all that they had to say. Uh, Healthy how reactive that is. Like they're actually just passing. Crazy. What's up, club? The reason why you upgrade to Windows 11 Kowalski is security updates. Everything else about it is yeah, I mean that's good. I don't think they're updating Windows 10 anymore. Kind of necessary.
Intel shares falling 2% after HSBC downgrades to reduce from hold.
We've got POC attempting to shift here on NS or NQ and RTY. Yes, actually hasn't done it. Price can hold up here with this POC shift, or if this is going to fill this LVN. What I'm referring to is building out this node now where the most volume is being traded. Right, this is where POC is shifted, and then a low volume node here. So if we fail to hold here, I'd expect price to have to rotate this.
10 minutes away from the bottom of the hour, we get the EIA crude oil inventories. Forecast is for a build of 0.35 million. Prior was a build of 1.792 million. With a range of a build of 4.512 million to a draw of 3.224 million. Gasoline inventories is a draw. Forecast is for a draw of 1.382 million. Prior was a build of 4.125 million. Distillate inventories forecast is for a draw of 0.734 million. Prior was a build of 0.578 million. Crude Cushing inventories prior was a draw of 0.271 million. So just a reminder with yesterday's or last night's data with API crude oil stock change, came in at a build of 2.78 million compared to the expected build of 2.25 million. Prior was a draw of 3.674 million.
Is ES retesting its value edge? See if this can hold or if we'll rotate back through. We want to see this be like a pretty clear bid, pop back above from here, or we'll expect that this goes offer and then needs to rotate back down, holding that distance. What trading view plan do I have? They've added so many tiers. I think the third? I don't know. Let me check. I think I have premium. But honestly, you really only need essential. I mean, plus is pretty. I think plus is.
It's just a heads up. Senator Schumer speaking on Senate floor saying position on healthcare subsidies remains the same.
Oh, but you don't get the footprint with.
Also,
They
about
added
5 minutes
that.
ago, to together crude oil inventories from the EA forecasted for a build of 0.35 million. Prior was a build of 1.792 million. Gasoline inventories a draw. Prior was a build of 4.125 million. Forecast is for a draw of 1.382 million. Distillate inventories forecast is for a draw of 0.734 million. Prior was a build of 0.578 million. Crude Cushing inventories prior was a draw of 0.271 million.
Yeah. They added that, so like if you want the same setup I have, you have to get premium. If you're looking to buy TradingView, you want to wait for like a holiday. They have really good sales. Like usually, like the holiday sales are like 60 to 80% off for annual plans. That's when you want to be buying. Yeah.
Dow Jones Index turns positive, last up 0.13%. We're going to get a video of Schumer as well, so we'll get that out shortly. Just a reminder at the same time, Mike Johnson is holding a press conference as well.
Yeah, you're like Cyber Monday, Black Friday, like that's coming up soon. That'll be a good one. So you could just go for like a month of premium right now, and then switch to annual once the big sales start. That'd be my suggestion. That's what I do. And you can buy multiple years of it at once. I think you can buy 3 years at a time, but there's really no point because it's the same sale every year. So don't feel like stressed about it. Yeah, data is like $12 a month for what you'll need. Maybe not even. It's like $4 per. It just depends on what you're gonna use it for. I think I pay $12 data. Here, I'll show you which plans I have of it. Or pro really it's no. I pay for data on Tradeify.
1 minute ago now, lead with the EI corridor inventories.
I don't use TradingView's DOM. I think that I just use it for charts.
Also, just a heads up with the next vote for the Senate, Thune on what happens next says vote today and then we'll see.
Here are my I think I'm good. That's what I pay for.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and I pay for data on live
Build
data
3.71 million. Build
on
of
TradingView as
3.71
well.
million compared to the
Just
expected
not
build
level
of
2.
0.35 million. So bigger than expected build there. Gasoline inventory is a draw of 1.601 million compared to the expected draw of 1.382 million. So bigger than expected draw there. Distillate inventories 2.018 million, 2.018 million, bigger than expected draw compared to the expected draw of 0.734 million. Crude Cushing inventories, a draw of 0.763 million. Not seeing any reaction from WTI for the back of the data.
But with like the sale, this number isn't like probably like something, maybe not even. I don't remember actually paying. This is just giving you the price without alone. But remember, it'll be like 80% off. So pretty good. And then this stuff is like pretty minimal. And you don't, it just depends on what you're going to use it for. If you're only trading futures, then you don't really need all of this. But I usually am asked to look up other stocks. I don't have real time data for that, then why are you trying to get away from Ninja? What's wrong with Ninja?
We have posted out the weekly crude oil inventories report on the feed for you to read through. According to House Speaker Johnson, Fed workers are to be repaid. This is according to a PBS reporter here. So the reporter asked if he expects workers to be paid and how he sees current law as White House and OMB has floated the threat of not paying them. Johnson was clear, saying workers should be repaid.
Got it. I don't know, man. Man, I do live in a different state. I have different taxes. I don't really seem ready to do much here. I'll lie. Feels like we're gonna need to do a couple more dojis on the 15. I don't know. Maybe they absorb here and that'll be enough. You'd need to see like this 200, 210 like be pretty clear if that buyers want to hold a higher low. Not like I'm just really not expecting much. Like, this needs to be pretty transparent that this is gonna go bid. And this just looks so choppy. It just feels like we need to build up this node more between our two zones that we're on. I don't know. I mean, everyone says to take advantage of it, but they've never like it's the same sale every year. So like again, like don't feel too pressured to stack. Like if you've got the spare change to stack, go for it. But I really think you're fine just buying a year. Like you're gonna get the same sale. You'll be all right. If you send me your I do, but you have to let me know that you sent one because a lot of the DMs that you guys try to send me get automatically blocked. They like end up in my like Discord spam folder, so I never see them. You have to just like let me know that you DM'd me and then I'll look. I get a lot of spam. People trying to like sell me crypto. But yeah, my DMs are technically open.
IMF Managing Director Georgieva says, at a time of very high uncertainty, you need agility and adaptability. Countries need good data, good institutions that ensure level playing field. IMF's Georgieva says we need clarity in the regulatory environment, not too much, not too little.
Well, we are continuing to do nothing.
IMF's Georgieva says US data shows some softening in the economy.
Rory. We're just slowly making our way down to VWAP. Just building out this node like we talked about. Not much to do. We either get back over, we get over this like 230, 240 here and start to build that out for expansion, or we're
Timmons
just going to
wave
build
from
out this
the top of
node
the hour
between our
expected
two
here from
zones like we
Bank of
talked
England's
about.
Pill.
I'm not in
the
anything.
Annual Maxwell Fry lecture
Just waiting.
at the University of
But
Birmingham.
this is our node that we're building out.
There is a video on his name on the economic calendar. We'll pop around the feed as well. So reminder, it is a Zoom link, so you can join the Zoom link. Ukraine's DTEC says Russia hit its coal enrichment plant. We also have posted out the link to join the Zoom meeting with Bank of England's Pill.
Pushing into VWAP now.
IMS Managing Director
happens.
Georgieva says there is recognition in China that export growth model is no longer viable.
If you're in a short, I think this is a great first risk off. We'll have to see a pretty clear sweep through this if we're going to continue downward. If not, then we'll just rotate back up. Yeah, still very flat. Buy still very flat. So it's like very independent here if we're going to lead down.
So a reminder with Bank of England's Pill update from the Bank of England from themselves, text is to be released. And as I said, there will be a Q&A with Bank of England's Pill as well. If I'm missing out, we're expected to hear from Bank of England's Pill where the text is to be released. And there's also Q&A. Again, speaking or delivering a speech at the Maxwell Fry annual lecture held at the University of Birmingham. 1 minute ago now, we're expecting text from Bank of England's pill.
When I see a large limit buyer sitting like this, how would I interpret it? I mean, it's just where the bid's resting. It can be pulled, it could be absorbed, it could be taken in. There's no real way to interpret it other than that is where there is a current limit resting the DOM. And trying to look more into it is not going to be incredibly helpful. You could say that could be used as a magnet where the liquidity is resting. Watch to see if it moves, if it pulls, if that.
10 seconds.
Other than that, there's not much you can do. And you just have to watch, see how it reacts. We start to fill before that level, and some of that liquidity starts to pull off.
According to an
and then we
Elay poll, Macron's approval rating falls 3 points to 14%. We'll get the text out from Pill and as soon as we can.
and that's just like that doesn't mean that that's a single person that level. You could have a limit there as well on a live account, and it would then say 50 instead of 49.
Pill says monetary policy should be resolutely focused on price stability.
We went right to target, right into VWAP, and we bounced. Not much to do here. Zone to zone.
Pill says that I do not intend to discuss monetary policy stance in speech. We have posted out his speech on the feed for you to read through. Genna said he said himself he does not intend to discuss monetary policy stance in his speech.
Am I having a good morning? Not particularly. Not a bad morning, but it is one of the mornings. It is one of the mornings of all time, you know? That image is crazy. And the only reason that no one cares is because people are making money right now. As soon as people start losing money, it's so over. There's gonna be all these talks about all this corruption, and you know what I mean? Like it's gonna. But right now, all the boomers are loaded on
Pill says
Nvidia.
inflation expectations may have shifted.
My VWAP is down at 140 well on Forex, but for my ETH chart, sorry, my RTH chart, it's at 75. Smaller time frame.
GM says a
You can see
scrapping
how
program
it's
to
different.
to extend use
Different time frames.
of $7,500 EV tax credit.
So this is like your larger time frame VWAP for both periods. X as well. Then this is just regular trading hours. See how it reset at the beginning of the session at 9:30. So this is the VWAP for the session. That's why your VWAP is different. So the VWAP for both sessions is at one. VWAP for one session at
IMF's managing director Gil Givas is very concerned that public debt is growing faster in advanced economies than developing economies.
I mean, I literally just told you the reason. But okay. Up smooth. $230. I don't know about the 230. You're kind of at target now, and but it's like 210, 220. If it can go supportive, then sure, it can go up. We'll make a new high. But this is POC of our previous 50, as well as our daily POC. This 210 is pretty important. Should expect some absorption here. If we can flip over our val
Thanks, Vice
high,
President
right,
Shane
at
Barnes says
221,
Mexico and
then
the
I
US
think we
will
just
hold
go up.
key trade discussions
I
next
don't
week,
think 230 is the top.
and trade talks with the US are going well.
But we got to get over this 210, 220 and actually support. Or we're just going to absorb here again. You shorting Q managers? I haven't done anything, man. But I don't think this is the top as of right now. Doesn't feel like it. So probably good continuation up. So it should just be pullback buys to rotations to here. I don't think this is a great short, personally. You might be able to make money off of it, but I just think we're building in this node for continuation up eventually. The reason why I say that is just like there's been no real weakness on RTY. Just holding our 30-second opening range. There's been no real weakness on ES either. Just NQ pulling back to VWAP. So there's not really a reason to expect more downside. Could we rotate here for another 2 hours? Sure. But I think like the eventuality of it will go up. Unless something crazy happens. I mean, we of course like things could shift, but I don't know. I'm not very interested in this movement either direction, to be honest. We called the build out of this node all the way back to here. We were expecting this rotation to occur. And it's just like one of those things where once you start to see price stagnate after a huge move up to the right, we start to then look for that curl over and that reversion back through. And right, like that's all we're doing. Just building this out. This node is like formed quite a bit more. This was 2 separate nodes before. Like we can go back and look at what this looked like. Think hopefully see if we can do that. What it used to look like. Can I do it or no? Damn, not really. Well, This used to look like this. And now it's a singular node. So we've just like filled in the structure. So all I'm really watching for is how we interact into our tails. The tails being like this area. Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, I already have like the fixed range on from earlier, so it's just I was trying to visually show you building when I was scrolling because I figured that we'd be able to see it via the visible range one, where like if I only showed these candles, then only this node would show up, but exactly doing what I wanted to do. I guess that's good enough. You can see what I'm talking about there. We have this upper node, and we have this lower node. We filled this LVN here, and then made it a full structure, right? One full. Yeah, I guess that visually looked okay. Nah, no giveaway today. Just trading. Feels like a long, slow, choppy Monday here at this. Yeah, we just gotta build it out, man. There's a huge movement this morning in the first 30 minutes, which sucks because I wasn't here for it. And then now we're just building out this node. After like a big old movement like that, it makes sense to consolidate. Just to be like, it's like the market being like, you sure? You alright? We really doing this? Right? Like that's all it's asking. So now that we've done that big move, it's like, can we actually hold it? or are we going to need to retrace? If we can hold up here, it's a good sign that we want to keep going. It'll be enough of a structural build for us to then expand off of it. But if this fails to show any interest over it, then it's just going to crawl back and fix structure lower, right? It's basically like, yes, there was a very active bid below, but we don't have enough secondary buyers to continue that momentum up, and so we are going to have to come back to where the bid, where buyers actually want to buy, right? It's just like that. When you think about it as an auction, it's like, okay, like we may have gotten a little ahead of ourselves. Price went up a little too fast. The demand was there until it wasn't, and then it was all gone. And now it's a matter of, can we sustain at this higher price? Are people still willing to buy, right, and build out this area? Is this enough of a pullback to represent what current demand is in this market? Or is this going to be a consolidation where sellers are just loading the boat up here, right, and absorbing all of these buyers, and then we're going to get a much steeper pullback to fix the structure, and we're going to come back to a steeper area of demand where the real bid can happen again, right? Like that's really all this is. Just testing the waters between our, our known buyer and our known seller. Makes for pretty boring trading though, but I think the short is good. You mean just for like a balance trade? I mean, it's not bad. It would have been better to take it a bit higher when at our edge, like we talked about, where I told you that was the high at 210, 220. But I mean, this isn't terrible. Just watch to see if POC holds his resistance on retest. Again, like I'm not bearish and I'm not bullish. Like it's just sideways until we have a better direction. I don't think we have enough people trapped above for this to be like a viable short for breakdown, personally, but like it could be a decent rotation, Uh, yeah, well, I mean, like nothing about this move on ES looks bearish to me as of yet. Like we're holding POC to value high of previous candle. We took out our wick highs from the previous sell. NQs hasn't really done much up here. And there's like someone taking in size right into that 220. Like that hasn't changed. Pull back to POC right now. I don't know. I'm not very interested, honestly, until we see a bit more from either side. But yeah, I mean, the odds are in your favor at our edges. Yeah, boring can be good.
Oil hits intraday record high as broader markets strengthen.
What do you mean? You can see the 790 right there on your thing. Hi. What are you talking about? What? What do you think that big ass blue thing is? Yeah, I mean, there's someone actively setting an offer. They're just sitting at 800s right now. There's like 500 contracts sitting at 800 on the DOM. That is probably going to act as a magnet if you were looking for something like that, but it's new. See what happens as we come up into this idiot. 5 more points. They're trying. They're climbing up to that offer. Yeah. They've been sitting there for like, I don't know, 40 minutes at 800. Just happens to be ADR. We could build above 6,800. We've got like 20 points left in us on ES for sure. For sure. But we gotta get through this. Offer sitting at 250 on NQ. 120 contracts. Yeah, I mean the offer is sitting at 250. Similar size comparison. And every other level is like 8 contracts, 10 contracts, and then 250 is 120. So pretty comparable. I highly recommend, Ben, that you turn market depth on your charts so that you don't have to watch the DOM for all charts at the same time. It's just in your settings for like the chart. Turn on market depth. It'll basically show you like where liquidity is resting on the DOM on your chart itself. In a Tradeify. So then you can like watch one DOM, but still have like a good idea of like where liquidity is on your other charts. Like I'm not looking at ES, but I know that that 800 guy is still there. And I know that most liquidity is resting at 794.50 right now without even looking at the DOM on ES. And I know we have 2 liquidity pockets on NQ right now. We have a buyer at 232, it looks like, and 225. With our offer trying to lower here at like 42. And that's without looking at the DOM. That's just market depth. I don't think they break this. I think the bid holds in groups here. That's my personal take as of right now. We'll see. This looks like a decent area to absorb into like 220, 230. We flip it, okay, like maybe I'm wrong, but until then, okay. Watching. Sucks how much time we have left on this candle. That's a little annoying. A lot can happen in 12 minutes. We're holding POC as resistance on both NQ and ES. Previous candle. Hmm. Um, hmm. I mean, like, this is what my NQ chart looks like. So yeah, I can give you an idea. Right, so like on the side of my NQ profile, it has like, this is where the liquidity is, in the sense of like where people have resting orders on the DOM. Right, like that's all I'm talking about market. This isn't historical fills. This is where bulls have bids and offers resting on the DOM right now. This has nothing to do with historical value. It's currently where people have orders on. It will be changing over and over and over again as people flip or get filled. So you can just like pay attention to that. I just have like a chart up for ES, RTY, NQ with these so that I can have like one DOM in focus and then still be able to see like what's happening on other charts. We've talked about this before, but I use that a lot to give me an idea of like where Russell's headed, because I think Russell is like the most obvious with it. RTY, like when there's a very clear buyer or seller, like it is so apparent where we're going, because they flash it quite a bit. Like that liquidity is very telling when it starts to show outsized amounts on the DOM. Very easy to see like, oh, they're advertising here, and then like price will usually head in that direction pretty clearly on Russell. Okay, that is not historical. Yes, that is not historical. At no point did I say historical. You know what you use for historical fills? The DOM. Or sorry, you use the footprint chart, which is a historical representation of the DOM. Which is why we have a footprint chart open. Yeah, yeah. Glad you're learning. No, the histogram on the DOM is telling you where volume has transacted. So that's volume that is actually that's like the actual contract volume at that level that's been traded for the day. That's what the histogram on the DOM is representing. Whereas the market depth is telling you where there is currently people bidding and offering on the depth of market, right? Like that's the market depth is just showing you the depth of market on your chart. So you can see where people are currently finding interest. It is not, none of those Depth of market is not showing you contracts that have been traded, only being advertised. Hopefully that makes sense. And I didn't confuse you. Our 20 to 30 still holding bid pretty clearly. Going back up to our highs here on NQ. This idiot at 800s on ES is still sitting there. The guy at 250 can be seen now, Ben. Do you see him? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's potential for that. You might just not have enough data. I don't know if you have level 2 or not. You would need level 2 data for market depth, I'm assuming, as it is just the DOM. So if you only have like level 1, then market depth wouldn't. It would only show you the current bid and ask. So like this is what level 2. This is level 2. So we have these. This is what the market depth is showing you. It's the same thing, but just on the side of your chart. This would be your historical, right? The amount of volume that's traded at each price level. That's on the side here. Then this is like the contract depth, right, at each level. And so like when you have level 1, it only shows you like the current bid, current ask. But with everything else, it shows you like where people are a bit further away. A bit more information. That's all. I think I don't know much about TradingView's stuff. I think the way that TradingView works is that you connect your brokerage to it, and then you have level 2 on the DOM because you're using your data from your
US stock
brokerage
index
as
extend gains.
like as the
S&P
connection,
500
right?
up 0.5%. The Nasdaq up
So you would
0.8%. The Dow up 0.3%.
so you would like go to your trading panel here, right? And then you would connect your brokerage, and then if you have level 2 on your brokerage, then you would then have it on the DOM as well. I'm guessing that's how it will work. So I've seen people with level 2 on TradingView who use like TradeStation. should get our move in 2 minutes on new 15, I think. It's getting a little bit more volatile now, volume-wise, into this candle. Should get hopefully a decision here. Starting to stack a bit heavier. New 15s have opened, opening above POC, trying to battle for this edge here. Both ES and NQ. Russell still leading up. See if we can continue to hold. Stuff like this is terrifying. Everyone like thinks the governments run like so well, and then you like learn how bad everything is. It is Korea, but like I'm sure that it's just as bad here in departments. It's crazy. Definitely a great area to risk off one. I think that this guy at 250 will pull, but still a good idea to take off one. You have the ability to. I think this guy's gonna wuss out though. We'll see. Mm-hmm. I'd like to hold for 265 here on my final contract from 230, but we'll see. It might pull back on me first. Okay so far. Pretty clear bid frying here at 50, 245. Offers very clearly moved. I think 265 makes sense, but only if this like 45, 50 area holds.
IMF's managing director Gorgieva says that I do project some further cuts from the Fed. Now speaking in a CNBC interview, Again, Managing Director Gorgieva says, I do project some further cuts from the Fed.
Interesting. So these are the companies that have used the most tokens on OpenAI. They're in alphabetical order, not order of tokens.
IMF's Managing Director Gorgieva says that inflation has stalled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very odd. I guess it's like a nerd ego thing. I'm sure they want to be on the list, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took a trade at the 230, 220 hold and flip for a move up to 265. I took first risk off at 50. Now I'm just waiting to see what's happening. Yeah, no, I just liked this hold here for this breakout. This one right here. I think it looks a little bit better on Tradeify. This is what I was talking about. Right? Just like we very clearly took in someone here at 230. And then I just played the bid out. So for this push up. This blue line, of course, is my current trade. But I think that's pretty visible. Where you can see like these buyers who attempted and pushed off, and then we're playing around them. I just said like, as long as 220, 230 is holding, we continue going up. That's all I said. And then we saw them get absorbed and then the bid step in, and then secondaries push through. And then I was targeting our reversion zone here at 265. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's a pretty boring day for me, to be honest. I don't know. We had a really good day yesterday, and when I have really good days where like everything just kind of works, I usually kind of take a step back and just like if I see something that's like really makes sense, I'll take it. But other than that, I don't know. I'm just kind of coasting. I don't know. I think if 800s can go supportive, then we have like another 20 points on ES. But it's going to take a lot of work here. But if we can make our ADR high supportive, right, like that's a very good sign that we want to keep going for the afternoon. But if ADR wants to hold, then this is it. If we can start to build out this area, right, we should be able to head up. $900 lot below, keeping expecting already reached from 100 to 150. Yeah, I mean, I get you. I mean, trends up's continuing. There's nothing to be worried about as of yet. If we can't show interest here, though, it's like I mean, I don't even know. I mean, there's nothing to worry about. Everything looks fine. I feel like if we like push below 230, 220 at this point, then it would be worrisome. But as long as like that's holding, we've got a pretty clear level. I don't know. I think we just keep an eye on RTY as long as that has momentum. We're chilling. Someone just gave birth live on Twitch. Have we gone too far? Probably. Oh, we're sitting at 65 now on NQ. No change. RTY holding our reversion zone and halfway back. Just pushing up into our 98.8. Testing highs now. Yes, holding, following pathing. Retesting POC now, previous candle. Pretty boring day, I'm not gonna lie. Not bad, but we got a taste of volatility yesterday, and I thought we were back. Yeah, but I mean, like 30 minutes is not enough, man. I gotta answer this. These are my movers. I'll be right back. Okay. They're calling to confirm time and date. There's your push into our 65 target on NQ. Russell leading up into target now. Our 98.8. Yeah. See if ES can do something else. I'd like to see this breakout just like NQ did. Need to see the look above and hold. Just trading into our value high of our previous level right now. Well as just our value high in the day itself. Need the break above. Again, just holding where we need to, but I need to see like a very clear bid over 800 for us to get out of here, and then we can start to look for that 820 above. That being said, NQ hit target, right? We're at our 65. But this still looks pretty good. I'm not seeing anything yet where like I would be scared or continuation on it. Did that 270 lots get filled at 67 and Q? I see like maybe half got filled. I mean, I don't think it's anything to worry about, but I see about half of those contracts got filled. I don't use a prop firm in, but we like Tradeify and MyFundedTraders. They give you the best value, in my opinion. Yeah. Why not use a prop firm bridge? I mean, well, at a certain point, there's no reason to how do I word this? You don't need to be giving a percentage of your winnings back once you become consistent. There's no real reason. I'm not looking to expand, right? Like if I was looking to like consistently grow the amount I was trading, I think prop firms would probably make sense, but that's not my goal. There are a lot of traders who will like buy, like 40 different accounts and then copy trade them and like stack, and then all of a sudden they're trading like 100 lots. But like that's not my goal. Like my goal is to consistently make money, like a consistent amount with a consistent size on a daily basis, and just be consistent. I'm gonna use that word over and over again. Um, I don't think I would mentally or emotionally be able to handle copy trading in the way that those people trade. Like they like even like the experienced prop firm traders that are on YouTube that are like big, who are making like, some days like 20, 40K profits by copy trading. Like they're blowing up their accounts every other month, right? Like their entire goal is to maximize returns while abusing risk. And I think that that's like a
S&P 500
really,
hits intraday record high, last up 0.6%.
I think that's a really bad model for overall growth. Personally, I just like my mental wouldn't be able to handle that. It'd be too much stress for me. I would rather just be consistent with size and with like my profits, kind of go from there. I don't know. I don't really have that many expenses. Not a big deal. Just slowly grow and put money into my long term.
So according to potential deal between Israel and the Gazans, according to senior Israeli official, there is progress. We feel cautious optimism.
Yeah, if you check the description,
And a
Carla,
non-Israeli source familiar with the discussions says the Qatari mediators believe an agreement can be reached by Friday.
there should be a codes for all of them.
Adding this, a non-Israeli source familiar with the discussion says the source noted that the goal is to announce the agreement this week and begin releasing the hostages next week.
When was your last red day? I don't know, man. And I don't really have like red days like you guys have red days. I have days where like I don't trade, or like I'm like neutral. I don't know. I mean, like you have to remember, like I trade like 1 to 2 contracts usually. So if I can't make up for my losses after taking like a couple bad trades, like there's an issue. Like I don't like have unlimited risk. My risk is very limited. So if I can't make up for like $600 of losses from 2 like bad trades to be at least be break even, it's you know, a larger issue. Take profit trader. I don't know anything about take profit trader. Let me see if Tom has a code. I think they're one of the newer ones. We're partnered with Tradeify, so that's like our primary. MyFundedFutures is a really good one. I like a lot. I think that they have really respectable rules. I don't know anything about Take Profit Trader, I'm not gonna lie. But I think Tom might have a code for them. Let me see if I can find you something. I don't know if we do. Yeah, no fee 40 is the best code you're gonna get. I mean, 40% off is pretty good. I'll try to work on getting us a better deal though. I mean, they're probably pretty new. They might have good rules, but if there's a lot of prop firms that keep popping up. Hard to keep track, and if like they're actually liquid enough to give payouts, it's another story. So yeah, if they've got to have to go through the test before I trust anything. See what happens here. They need to continue to absorb into this 50. Is POC to value level of our previous goal.
Democratic bill to end US government shutdown, failing to win enough votes to pass the Senate. Voting continues.
There's Sparrow. Bid is resting at 44, but I don't we can't get back over this node, we'll have issues. But I think we have to wait for Russell to figure out what it wants to do here at 95. I feel like if we lose the 45.50 area and that goes offer, we'll probably rotate down to 25 for like 25 points. If this maintains here, I think it's just chop, right? I think it's just balance. See. How long have you been trading? It depends on what you're talking about. Like overall, probably around 10 years. Options like stocks, probably like 10. Trading, right? I've been in markets. But then options probably 6, 7 years, and then futures like 2.5 at this point, I think. I don't know. I have a hard time with time. I still like say that I'm 25 sometimes. How I feel. People ask me my age, and I'm like, oh, like ever since COVID, I have no sense of time. But futures are pretty recent. I was trading options for this quite a bit, and before that, I was just invested. Is it 3 years at this point with futures? God, it might be. Time flies, man. Futures, I mean, futures are much. Options were fine, but options stressed me out for other people who were trading them. I was much more stressed with options. People following my trades on that. Futures is whatever, because you can do unlimited trades. So there's no, I don't have to worry about you guys like not being able to buy or sell because you don't have a large enough account and you can't actually day trade. That was very stressful for me. Yeah. Which is crazy as well, because like I posted my sizing. So like then like people would like see that I would do like 1200% on my last trade and then they would full port. Like that was very stressful for me. Like people like not willing to use proper risk management. I don't know. Like it affected my mental quite a bit. I don't know. The greed on people, it's just it's mind blowing. So stressful. Yeah, 2025 or 2023 was the last year of the options tracker. So, or 2022? Yeah, 2022. Holy, it's been 3 years. I'm looking through the old options tracker. Jesus. Used to take so many trades, man. My OBS control panel says that I'm offline right now. It's our old options tracker. Every trade had exit, close, premium, days held. It had information on why we were taking them. Can I zoom out a bit? There we go. Dude, look at all this Apple. This is when Apple was the market. More Apple. Holy. We did that for like 2 years. This was getting too big though, so then we updated to another one. crazy. So much work. That was so stressful. I really didn't practice trades. I kind of just like lost money for a while until I didn't lose money. I didn't like know that that was a thing that you could do. And then like once I figured it out, then I started like really journaling and like reviewing and then like going back and doing more sandbox stuff like paper trading. But like when I started, like that stuff didn't really exist. Or at least it wasn't prevalent enough for me to like know about it. A lot of just like trial and error and like getting things together. The amount of tools that you guys have now, I sound like a boomer saying this, but like it's insane like what's available now for you to actually succeed. I mean, you can even like paper trade options now. Like that's insane. Like, you can fully plan out your strategies and like back test everything. Like it is so it's never been easier to like actually back test with big data. It's crazy. Is Mario coming on today or no? See, it's 12:40. I guess not, right? It's Wednesday. Yeah. I should probably leave soon. I need to like pack. I don't know why I thought he was coming on. I'm so like discombobulated. Yeah, he does. I totally forgot it was Wednesday. Oops. Today was kind of boring. I'm sorry. So excited to be moved in so that I don't have to be stressed anymore. This is so stressful, man. I like yeah, this weekend, Sunday, Monday. I'm I'm probably taking Monday off to move, to unpack. I have to figure out internet. I think I'm gonna go do that right now. I need to make sure that I'll have internet for next week. I wish maybe I walk over there right now and I don't know. What do I do? I need to test to see if the spectrum's good enough or if I'm gonna have to bring AT over with me. I don't know how to do that. Oh, Monday's a holiday. Hell yeah. Okay, awesome. That works out. Well, I don't know. I haven't started to pay for Spectrum yet, but I don't know if it's included in my rent. The way that they worded it is like it's included in my overall rent, but I didn't see a modem when I went in there 2 days ago. So I don't know how that would make sense. They're like, it's $65 for Spectrum and it's included in your rent. But there was no modem. I don't know. I gotta call them before they close. I have AT&T, but no. So the thing is, Tom, is that the building that I'm moving to, towards, or into, sorry, words, they have a deal with Spectrum where that you're forced to have Spectrum internet. I have AT&T fiber at the place that I'm currently at right now. I've never lived in a place where they're like, you have to have this thing. So clearly they had some like shady backside deal where they're like, we get a percentage of the profits and every single tenant will have Spectrum internet, right? But I've only had terrible experiences with Spectrum. I think they're horrible because that's Comcast. Comcast is god awful. So I don't know. I'm gonna call my the realtor and see what they say. Well, I'm gonna do that right now, or it's too late. There's really not much to do right now either. Just stagnant. The thing that we have to worry about is that there's a buyer who's offsides into 270. So if we can't hold this 230, 240, I think that the market could definitely roll down to 225 on 200, I think. So watch your 230, 240, and if this doesn't hold here, I could see us having to curl over back to 200, 190, 200 before we could continue onward. That's all I really got. I don't know. It's very really slowed down. I think that we're in a very similar situation.
Bids for 10 years total 10 years total $724 million.
Where we've got two nodes, right? We have this upper distribution and this lower distribution and this LVN in between, right? This is where we're going to be watching for our offer to try to maintain. But if it can't, right, this will build out a full node instead of these two singular nodes, the upper and lower. So what we're going to be watching for is like from this buyer who's very clearly offsides in our reversion zone. Can we now put in a lower high and then start to push down for that rotation down to 200? Or does this right? Because like what we're watching right now is this guy relevant, right? Is this buyer still going to sustain on a reversal back towards him, right? That's that 230, 240. So if this guy can hold, we're in a pretty good situation where we can continue up. And this is just going to, can I not select this? All we're watching is what happens as we come back into this known buyer, into this POC, right? If we can push into this and then show a very clear bid, we keep going up. If this flips offer, I think that you have downside till at least 200. But I think that right now you're basically just in a balance between this pivot here and this high here while you build out a upper node, a cohesive upper node. Just keep an eye on this guy, because as long as this guy remains offsides and we're not showing any interest above and holding this, I think that this guy is just going to remain like as your resistance, and any test into it is just going to result in a lower high and then a down where you just kind of rotate this balance. If we flip this, again, like I said, if this holds, probably downside. If we look below and then bid back above, expect rotations up from there. I think that that's your pivot. And then again, like the 200 target, the 190, 200, look what it is. It's just VWAP, right? That's all I'm looking for. If we were going to revert. So that's kind of the idea right now. It's very slow. You've got ES coming into our LVN right now. Expect a bid to be here. If this flips, right? If this LVN, low volume node, is what LVN stands for, by the way. If this goes offer, right, then that's a shift of our auction, and then we trade in this lower node. We would trade through the node. If this holds as supportive, then we'll trade back up to our high at our 800s, right? If 800s go supportive, we can start to build in this upper area of this upper node, right? This upper node. Then we can trade this tail, and then I'd be expecting a move to like 810 and then 820. That's the idea. Just got to see how we play it out. No, I'm not doing Star Lake. But yeah, you guys, good luck. I will talk to you all later. Again, I think if this 230, 240 area can't maintain, you look for it to go offer and hold. If it holds, then a rotation down to 200 is very likely. If this 230, 240 area holds as supportive, then you're just looking for rotations back up to our 65 PT. If we can start to see us building over that, where those buyers are offsides that I circled up into that high, and we can start building over 65s, then I think continuation feels very likely. Yeah. I will link my chart in chat so that you at least have the levels, but be pretty you should have an understanding of it. All right. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and I am gonna go try to figure out my internet. Peace.